And we are very happy to welcome Chelsea back. And Joe, you are back from Ibiza finally. So,
Yeah, well, I mean, geez, I feel so great right now to be back. Yeah, I'm no longer in Ibiza. We have Chelsea back, and we're gonna have just an amazing show for you today, as always. So, Chelsea, how you feeling? How's
I'm
everything?
feeling I'm feeling great. I'm feeling really good. I'm excited that we're doing this again because we tried to do it 2 weeks ago, which was also fun, of course.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I get to see you guys twice in 1 month. That's really
Ooh,
fun.
I love it.
well, you are our favorite guest, so
Oh,
Exactly. Yeah, and everyone else's favorite
yeah.
guest as well. So,
Well, you've been here
power
3 times, so I mean,
yeah,
3 times. Well, four. We had that one.
oh yeah, I guess technically four
it's
straight.
true.
So,
Um,
um, yeah. What mug do you have? Does anyone have crazy mugs today?
I I
I'm
do.
gonna lie, it's not bad.
I do.
oh man,
What? She's pulling
oh
out
man, that's the
so
best mug that's been on here.
that
It's my fave. I've had it for like 2 years. I love
geez.
it.
I need mugs. I need to go out and buy mugs as cool as that because I mean I don't even have a mug to show anyone today. So I just want you to know I brought and I'm not trying to like there's no sponsors in this video, but hey, you should drink from Hydrate. It's very delicious water when you drink. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It tracks your water and stuff, so it
hmm
keeps you hydrated. Well,
That's awesome. And it like gives you an alert to tell you need to drink more water, right?
yeah, it glows and stuff. So
Yeah.
and it
Oh, that's
connects
Glows?
to your phone.
Oh
cool.
man, I just
Yeah.
thought
Yeah.
it like beeped or something like that.
No, it just glows. Yeah.
That's
I have
spiffy.
my coming in hot mug. I've had this mug for quite a while.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's
My mom was like, she brought me an old mug, and I used it on the show already, and she was like, "Did you use that mug yet?" Because I had told her about this bit, and so sorry, mom, I used this mug instead.
no, mom. All that hard work you just did bringing me that mug. I know. You
Yeah, I used it on the show already once.
smash that mug. Oh no.
Well, just some quick
Um,
news updates for everybody on the channel. We are still trying to crank out some content for you guys, and getting up on releasing content. More often. We have everyone recording different videos. I know, Joe, we have some time set up for you to record. Foz has been recording, and we have Josh recording. So we have people recording, and we just need to get it to our editors, and then we will start rolling those videos out. I know we kind of had a dearth for April, but we're trying to make up for it for the rest of the year by having new content every single week, and we're trying to do it daily, guys. So we're doing it all for you guys to get trained up on everything. And any topics you guys want us to focus on, just let us know in the chat. We do have 150 videos planned currently, but like if they're already in the queue, we can prioritize those and everything like that. And then finally, we are doing a giveaway again. It's going to be the Twitter deal. The first person to do hashtag Excel today we'll give you, let's do Excel classes again, 3 full days of Excel. It'll be the intro, intermediate, and advanced. That's about $870 value. And you'll be there with a bunch of other people live, and maybe Joe will be teaching it.
maybe
Oh
Maybe.
Excel's.
yeah.
I'm not making any promises.
That's
That
worth a
changes up all
million
the time.
bucks.
But
Yeah,
today we are,
last time our winner, she attended the Power BI class that I was teaching, and she got a
yeah,
lot of
Really?
that
value
was
out of
pretty
it.
cool.
So
Yeah,
That's
she jumped right in. That
awesome.
was awesome.
Oh my gosh, that's
And I
awesome.
know she got tons more out of it, right, Joe?
no, yeah, she loved it. So 2 days, and so
Cool.
really, you can win. There is a chance that you might win this. All
Yeah.
right.
So just
Uh,
hashtag Excel today, and make sure we can DM you on Twitter. I had a lot of people that we weren't like I chose as winners, and we weren't able to DM them in Twitter. So
Hmm,
we just don't want anyone posting their personal information in the open or anything like that.
hmm.
Um, and just saying hello to everyone in the chat there. We are doing Power BI questions and answers today. We have both Joe and Chelsea. Chelsea is a Power BI expert, and so is Joe. and
I learned from Chelsea.
yeah,
Aw.
so yeah. It was like Star Wars, like this is like, you're the Jedi Master. Chelsea and Joe, you're the
Wow.
Padawan.
What am I, the Padawan?
You're the Padawan.
I think that's the biggest compliment I've ever gotten. We have
Joe's
some
gonna
books
turn
that
on you though.
Right? Right?
Going to the
Don't
dark
give
side.
in. Don't
Yeah.
give in, Joe,
And
to
then
your
I'm
Chelsea's
going
rage.
to
gonna have the
the
high
road.
ground though. Oh,
I
here's
can't
Elsie. Elsie
imagine.
was the winner last time. She's in there.
Hey,
Hi,
Elsie.
Elsie.
Hey,
Nice
Elsie,
to
you're the
see
big winner. We
you.
hope you enjoyed the class with Joe, and it's great to see you back here today.
Yeah.
You're just talking about you, Elsie.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Hi, Koski,
Hey.
as well. Hi, Raul, and hi, Wendy. Wendy's down there in San Jose, close by. I used to live in downtown San Jose, so I know
And
the
good
area
morning
well.
to Samir, who we've
Yeah,
seen
so
a bunch of times before. Hey, Samir,
yeah,
welcome back.
yeah. Welcome back. And yeah, so Power BI question and answer today. Joe, I know you wanted to just demo something maybe real quick um,
Yeah,
for Power
yeah,
BI.
and then
We
yeah,
can start
Chelsea.
taking everyone's questions.
Yeah, and then Chelsea, just at any time, just jump in. Let me share my screen. I thought today, why not? And I'm going to share real quick, and hopefully you
While
don't
you're
see like.
sharing that, Joe, I'm going to say hello to D, Jeff. Uh, I'm I'm just going to show your name on the camera there. Good night from Malaysia. Oh yeah, good evening. Good evening to
Oh,
Good
everyone in Asia that's
evening.
watching.
Yes.
Oh, Chicago from Sophia. I love Chicago. It's one of my favorite cities, especially one of my favorite places to eat. They have so much great food out there.
Chicago.
Yeah. All
I
right.
love Chicago.
So let me get your screen going, Joe. All right.
Whoa!
There you go. All right, Joe, take it away. And then we'll take
Can everyone see my
anyone.
screen?
Yeah, we can all see your
Okay,
screen. Yeah, and then everyone, if you have any burning Power BI questions, anything that you've been stumped on, something you need done at work or anything like that, just drop those questions in the chat,
Mhm.
and we'll put them up on the screen here, and we will have Chelsea answer all of them.
answer them, Chelsea. Answer.
Go, go.
Yeah.
Rapid fire.
All right, so we have some sample company payroll information here, and we're going to do something simplistic. Now, normally when we have data sets, it's great. We collect this data, we gather this data, but how do we actually read this data? How do we visualize this data? See, we're all human beings, so all of this data looks great, but I can't analyze it because, well, I'm not a computer. So what we tend to want to do is visualize the data so we can track trends and patterns within this data and improve our company. That's what it's all about. So what are we going to do today? We're going to take this sample data. We are going to extract it into our Power BI. We're going to transform it, and then we're going to load it into Power BI. So typically that's known as your ETL, extract, transform, load. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just exit out of this data because even though it looks pretty cool, it looks like it was perfect, it actually wasn't. So I'm going to click open my Power BI here. It's going to go boom, 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 and hopefully work.
You have
There
a
it
lot
is.
of desktop icon, Joe.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's my own little mess, but I know where everything is.
Oh,
That's what
I
my
matters.
swear.
the one on my VPN is so bad, it's all icons.
Oh, gosh. So welcome to Power BI Desktop right here, where you can visualize data and create beautiful, wonderful dashboards and create relationships and all that good stuff. So the first thing I'm going to do is the E, extract the data. All right, and I'm going to do that by clicking Excel because I already know it's an Excel file. Now, don't let that deter you from extracting it from other databases. Like, for instance, I could go to a SQL server, another Power BI data set. I can go over to, if I wanted to, the web and pull data or text or CSV, comma separated value. So anything you want. But today we're dealing with Excel. Super easy. So I'm going to go find that file real quick, and I believe it's right over here. I'm going to extract it. So now that I'm extracting it, it's connecting to that data, and it's going to pull it into a preview here. And when I pull it into this preview, then what I'm going to want to do is just double check that my data is looking okay. And here it is. I'm going to select payroll. Now I noticed that there's some nulls in here and things that I'm like, whoa, I don't need that. That's just going to be a waste of my time. Look at all this. It's just too many spaces, too much data going on here that I don't need. So what I want to do is I want to transform this to really be the best data that I can use. So the first thing I'm going to do is hit my transform. There is the T. Now, if your data was looking pitch perfect, well, we don't live in a perfect world, so I'm assuming it won't be. You would then just simply click on load and skip the transform. But that's not the case here. So I'm going to click transform data. It's going to load it, load it, load it. And here we are in the Power Query editor. This is my favorite part because you can edit your data and you can manage massive amounts of data all within seconds. So the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of this change type and promoted headers. That just means that it's took, the initiative to move my data around on its own, and I don't like that. So I just simply want to change those. Now what I'm going to do is simply delete these 3 rows because I really don't need these 3 rows here. They're all null. They don't have information that it's going to be useful to me. So I'm just going to simply remove rows. And since they're from the top of my data, well, I'm going to remove them from the top. Now I know that I want to remove 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to put a 3 in there, click OK. Oof, boom, gone, disappeared. Now I'm going to scroll down and I notice, whoa, there's some data at the bottom as well that I don't need. Just going across, just null. It just means there's empty data here. So I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remove from the bottom this time. And well, I'm going to put a 5 in there. Click OK. Oof, that looks beautiful. And I noticed when I was pulling this data in that there were a couple of null columns here, like from column 12. Now you could just hold the control key down and select each one individually, but I don't like to do that. I like to save time. So if you hold the shift key down on your keyboard and you click on the column 15, it'll select all of them. Then I could simply click on, well, remove columns. That's my favorite thing about Power Query is it just simply tells you straight what is going to happen. Remove columns, well, it's going to remove columns. Remove rows, do you want to remove them from the top, from the bottom? What do you want to do? So it doesn't really use that terminology that might be a little tricky. The last thing I want to do here is I noticed that my headers here were pushed down, and now it just simply says column 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's not what I want. I want this first row to be used as my headers. Guess what? There's a button for that. Right here, use first row as headers. Boom. So now my data is looking pretty amazing. I can see all of my applied steps over here. And if I needed to undo any of these steps, I could simply hover over and click the X. But everything looks beautiful. I am now ready for that last part. So I've extracted the data, I've transformed the data, and now the L. I'm going to load that data in by closing and applying this. And here it goes. It's applying those changes. 1, 2, 3. It says load right there. And you could do it. It's thinking, it's ready, and it's done. So now I have this huge canvas. I want you to think of me as Bob Ross. Why not? I love Bob Ross. So now that I'm Bob Ross, I need to paint this canvas with a bunch of visualizations that are going to just help me out. Now you'll see I have access to different visualizations, whether I want like a custom column chart or a gauge or maybe a map, who knows? I can pick whatever I want here. And then you'll see the fields, which are going to be all of my data squeezed into these headers. So you'll see that I have my department header, my division, and all of the divisions, all of the departments, all of my employees are found in this list of data. So let's say, for instance, I want to create a quick dashboard. I'm just going to simply use, I don't know, let's do a clustered column chart. That looks fun. I'm going to click on it. It's going to say, okay, what do you want to add here? What's the axis? What's the legend? What's the values? And what I simply want to do is maybe I want to see how many hours I spend in each division. So if I take division, put it in the axes, and then I take, for instance, the hours and I put them in the values, well, now I can see, boom, there it is. So in Connecticut, I have 1,089.5 hours there, 1,011 hours there, Vermont, 747.50 there. Now I can move this around. I'll put this right down here. And I can do something else. Like maybe I want to gauge department hours or how many total hours I have. So what I can do is I can put the value of hours here. And you may notice this little numeric symbol here. Well, that just simply means that it's a numeric value. And numeric values usually go into the values field here. So I'm going to click and drag it. Ooh, that looks good. The problem with this is I really don't like the way that the number came out. It says like 3.37, and I don't like that. I'd rather have a whole number. So you can actually edit and really manage the way these look by simply going to the paint roller right here. And this is what's known as the formatting section. Now, if I give it a click, I can then simply play around with it and choose what I want. Now, a lot of people ask me, Joe, look at that long list of stuff. How do I know what's being affected? And I always tell you, just have fun with it. Click on and off. Look, data label. What's a data label? Oh, now I know those numbers on the bottom there were data labels. So now I know if I'm affecting these, I'm just simply affecting these numbers. Give it a click, 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 click. I'm going to change this to, it automatically made it this look. I don't like that. I'm going to put none. Look, it's exactly the way I wanted it. And one more thing I don't like the decimals, so I might just want to change that to 0 decimals. Perfect. So now I've just changed these numbers, but now I want to worry about this one here. So once again, I'm going to go through and I'm going to look, okay, which one? Is it this one? Oh, yeah, when I click that on and off, it looks like I'm affecting that number. So now I'll just click, do the same thing, and 0 decimal places, and look, it's exactly the way I wanted it now. So pretty cool how we can do that. Now the last thing I'm going to do is add a cool feature here by clicking the ellipses and using some more visuals because, well, these are all the same visuals I'm used to, but people have created some amazing added on visuals. So if I click on it,
I have
get
one
more
question.
visuals. Yeah, go ahead, Ben.
No fish tank.
No fish tank? Why?
That one's the one that everyone chooses. Every single demo video I see is the fish
No,
tank.
I won't do the fish. I'll do the chiclet. How about this? Chiclet slicer.
That one's
So the
essential.
chiclet slicer is one of my favorites, and the reason why is because I don't like the original slicer. Like for instance, if I wanted to slice this all by, we'll say, department, well, there's not much you can do here. See how it's like all in a row? You can't move these around. You can't really customize this in any way. And I get it. It's just a slicer. But me, I like to get fancy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a chiclet slicer. And now I can pick and choose how I want this to look. Now remember, to format anything, just go into the format section here. And I'm going to look and I'm going to say, you know what? I want the chiclets. I don't know. Maybe I want them to be, when they're selected, I want them to be a nice blue. When they're not selected or maybe hovered over, I want them to be, we'll say pink. Why not? And when the background, maybe I want the background to be purple. I don't know. I'm making it crazy. Right? So I'm having some fun with this. Look at that. You're probably saying, Joe, that doesn't look good. I know. I'm just making it all different. Now, I don't know. What else do I want to do here? I can do whatever I want. Ultimately, what I can do is add a header if I wanted to. I could go into the general. Maybe I don't want it to say department, but maybe I wanted to say something like department selection. There we go. Now I can put this in the middle and make it look pretty. Let's do an outline here. I don't know. I'm going to make it orange. Yeah, orange looks good. Why not? I don't know. I can turn on a title if I wanted to. I can put the title in the middle. Change that. Make that one orange. And I think that looks a little better than the other one. So what I'm going to do is turn the header off. And look at that. It's starting to look good, come together. I'm going to put this over here. And one more thing I'm going to do is maybe add a text box or a visualization here. I'm going to call this one Joe's Awesome Crazy Dashboard. I'm going to make it look a little bigger here. And I think we're ready to go. I think this will look good. I think we're good to go. I'm going to just position this a little more, make it look pretty. And I think we're good.
Yeah, I think you're great.
Doesn't it look great? Yeah, right? It doesn't look so bad.
Yeah.
It looks like, I don't know, something, right?
It looks crazy.
And how many minutes was that?
That was a long time.
There
um,
we go.
yeah, so just looking,
Now, of course, you can make it look prettier. It doesn't have to look like this, all right?
yeah,
But
well, obviously.
But
But
even
we,
compared to the dashboards that you can build in Excel, I'm sorry, Ben, I didn't
yeah,
mean to
no, no problem. Go ahead.
walk right on.
We have you on today. You're the
Um, I was just gonna say that the dashboards that you can build in Excel take so much more work, right? Like you have to create all these individual pivot tables, all these individual pivot charts. You have to like hide all the messy stuff in the background and adding all of those interactive slicers. Like the slicers aren't naturally interactive with all the visuals, so you have to like program them. And if you want like the gauge visual that Joe just put on, we don't have that in Excel. So yeah, Power BI really stepped it up. Really stepped it up.
Yeah, it is a
I
super
love
powerful tool,
Power BI.
especially for any type of data analysis. And for
Yeah.
anyone that's been working with like 10,000 Excel spreadsheets or, well, it was really built
Mhm.
was for, the huge libraries of data, but
Yeah.
it can
Yeah.
easily clean up any type of data set that you have and make it
Mhm.
look a lot better. I do want to open up for questions. We don't have any in the comments, so like if you guys have any questions that you want, we have two Power BI experts here today. And if not, maybe we can just go over maybe some best practices, Chelsea. Like
Mhm.
you've been out in the real world using it. I mean, me and
Yeah.
Joe, we exist in the
Yeah,
corporate training vacuum, so we know
exactly.
the best use according to Microsoft, but you see it out there being used real world. What are you?
Yeah.
What's some best practices or maybe some common mistakes that people could easily correct?
Sure.
I got a
Yes.
question for you, Kelsey.
Okay. All right. Bring it.
This one's a good one. I
Okay.
just want to know when you're publishing these Power BI dashboards,
Mhm.
and what do you what do companies that you've worked with, where do they put them mostly? Do they embed them in an HTML on their website? Do they just publish them to the public? Uh, what do you see mostly when they want to publish and make it, interactable with all their employees, or keep all that functionality?
When they want to make it consumable by all their employees or by a large number of employees, I usually see publishing in a universally acceptable location like SharePoint or something like that. That's
Hmm.
common. But you also see these dashboards specifically designed for particular leadership groups, and those are the only people consuming them. So when that happens, sometimes it's in SharePoint in that case too. But the other thing
Hmm.
that happens often is that these people like have connections into the published dashboards. So you can publish them to the Power BI service, and then because several different people have a connection straight into it, then they can go straight into the Power BI service and access it. And the benefit of that is that they can look at it on their mobiles, which is so common. I
Yeah.
didn't know how common that was going to be, but we see it all the time. So people are looking to be able to actually consume those dashboards on a very small screen, and the Power BI service just does a beautiful job of being able to pivot the view of all the of that super awesome crazy dashboard you just made, being able to view it on a mobile phone. I mean, like it's it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, globally, we don't think about it like, especially here in the United States, like computers are very prevalent, but in a
Hmm.
lot of places, the smartphone is the most powerful computer that most people own.
That's
Um,
right.
That's true.
That's
and
right.
We
we
have
do have some questions though coming in,
yeah,
so
yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff had a
get to
good one.
those. First one, oh well, let's start with Wendy. How do you purchase this? Can they be used on an old Dell laptop? Power BI, you can get a free trial directly from Microsoft.
Hmm.
It is free to start with. Obviously, if you want to keep it forever, you have to start with a subscription service with them.
Hmm.
And you can choose between either having a hard desktop version or interacting it through Office 365 through a web
Hmm.
browser. So yes, you can definitely use it on an old Dell laptop because most of the computing power, if you choose to do the web browser one, is handled by Microsoft. So you
Hmm.
can definitely do that. Anyone can use Power BI.
Yeah.
Let's take another question
Power
from Jeff,
BI.
and I'll have the experts answer this one because I do not know anything about this one. Can Power
Mhm.
BI be automated in some way with VBA?
Can I take this one?
Yeah, of course, Chelsea, you're the VBA master.
Okay. So so yes, sort of. It's it would be a little bit old fashioned, I think, to do it, but I still find use cases for it at least a few times a year. For instance, if you have data coming in from some kind of external service, like Salesforce is pretty good, but like I don't know, I'm in the legal world these days, so I deal with a lot of entities that spit out data in a data dump, like in a text file. It's not very well managed. And while Power Query does a really, really good job, and you want to lean on Power Query for any kind of data normalization or transforming, like Joe was saying. And the reason you want to use Power Query is because it can re-automate that every time you get a new data. With that being said, there are cases where the data comes in from some kind of external data source, and the normalization activities that you need to take on it are so precise and are so unique to that product or that data that you can't actually do it in Power Query. So those are the only use cases I still find for using VBA in conjunction with Power BI, but I do still run into that a few times a year, so it still happens. Of
Great
course,
question, Jeff.
yeah, really good question. Of course, if we all were genius programmers, then we'd probably want to go in the R direction or the Python direction to resolve that in a more permanent fashion.
R. I remember R.
Yeah, yeah.
R.
I tell
All right.
myself once a year I'm gonna learn it, and then I get into it for like a week and I abandon it. It's hard.
All right. We do have another question from Pilar. Let's see. And this is another one I have to definitely defer to both of you guys. How DAX works in Power BI.
Nice. Yeah,
I'm gonna
that's a good
take
one.
this one. Do you want to take it, Joe? Or?
Chelsea, it's all you.
Okay,
You're
Go
I'm
Chelsea, it's
jumping
you.
on it.
yeah,
Okay.
jump all over it.
All right. So DAX is, you can kind of think of it like Excel functions. If you use Excel functions, right, they even have the same structure. So they start with an equal sign, you'd have the name of the function, and then the function opens with a parens, you put in some arguments, and then it closes with parens too, right? So in that sense, they are very similar. And what's really cool about DAX, which is why so many people have been able to quickly adopt Power BI, is that a lot of the functions that are in Excel are the exact same functions that are in Power BI, that are exact same functions that are in what we used to refer to as Power Pivot. So, so the one difference between the way that the functions operate is that in Excel, your functions operate on a cell by cell basis. So you select cell A1 and you select cell A3, right? And by doing that, you skipped cell A2. So it's a cell by cell, very precise selection. But in Power BI, all of the DAX in Power BI operates on an entire column or an entire field at the same time. So you don't have the ability to select individual values, but there's good reason for that. And the good reason for that is scalability. So the whole thing about Power BI is that it can handle large amounts of data. And when you want to start handling large amounts of data, you have to step away from that value by value, row by row operation. And you have to be able to go into more of these dimensional operations where you process a DAX on an entire column. Now you could do a sum. You could do a sum on an entire column. It works beautifully, perfect. It, like, you could jump into it right now, Pilar, and try it, and it would work for you. Like, you could really do this very second with the information that you already have about the sum function in Excel. In addition to that, there is a whole like tier of functions in DAX that are evolved just for Power BI that do way more powerful things. And they are the cat's pajamas. They're the coolest. But they, like learning anything new, there's a little bit of a learning curve there. But that's why you want to attend Joe's class.
Yeah, or you can
but
watch Chelsea's great Power BI videos on our channel.
yes,
Thank you,
yes.
Ben.
Shout out to Chelsea's videos. I still go over there and just okay. Like, I remember something, but I don't quite. Let me jump over to Chelsea's videos, and
Oh
they
my
help
gosh,
out
you're too
so
sweet.
amazingly. Such a great explanation of them. So really,
Thanks.
really
Thanks,
jump over
Joe.
there and look.
Well, does anyone have any last minute questions? We do have about an extra minute here or so. If anyone has any burning questions about Power BI, not seeing anything come through, so we got to all of them. It's actually
Nice.
so we're
Does
right
anyone
about
have
at the
any
end here.
powerful questions about Power BI?
Yeah. Well, if not, we can start to wrap up here a little bit. Chelsea, I want to thank you again for being on the show and
My
for coming
pleasure.
back on after we had technical difficulties last time and had to split the show in two. So I really want to
Thanks
thank
for
you.
having me, as
Yeah, and
always.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
always great having you on.
Yeah. So much fun.
Joe, next week we are going to be doing Forms and Planner. If I'm not mistaken, you have a it's gonna be
Forms and planner, yeah.
yeah, you're gonna
Forms
be
and planner.
training
If you
everyone on
want
that. Yeah.
Yes.
learn to survey
Yes.
stuff and
Mm.
create polls. Why not?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I need to
it'll be
attend
fun.
that. I'll be there as an audience member.
Yay!
Yeah, Planner is very strong. Planner is a very strong tool, especially if anyone is in a Scrum team or anything like that.
Mm.
You could definitely use Planner, like you would use like a Kanban board or Trello or any of those other
Yep.
services.
Mhm.
You can definitely use Planner as well. And so that'll be next week. And then the week after that, we have a data analysis program with RJ Williams. He's actually from C Prime Training. He's very deep in the data analysis game. He's done it for many years. He
Mm.
uses all the tools. He's heavy on the DevOps side. So if you guys want to know about DevOps and how data analysis can work in there and everything like that,
Mm.
RJ Williams will be here to talk about that. And we are trying to work on a few other guests. And we're always looking for more topics for what you guys want to see on the show. So if you just want to drop like what you'd like us to see cover, I mean, we're here. This show is here for you guys to bring you abreast on like what's really happening in the workplace and everything like that.
Mhm.
I've been trying to get some people for resume writing and what skills are
Oh
we
yeah.
looking for in the workplace. So we're trying to get some more people like that. And if you want to see like more coding, like we had Anya on last week, we can definitely get more coding going. And just let us know what you'd like to see on the show. But I will keep lining up guests nonstop. But
Keep them up. Line
yep.
them up.
And then
Present them.
yeah. And just want to say thanks to Chelsea again one more time. And
Thanks, you
Yeah, thank
guys.
you so much, Chelsea.
Thanks for
It's
having
always
me.
amazing seeing
Always
you.
fun.
This is not the last time we're seeing Chelsea, by the way. Um,
yeah,
we're gonna see her a bunch more times
yes,
because
Awesome. Yay.
favorite guest.
yes, she's our favorite guest, number one guest.
Oh.
Yeah. And then before I forget, I want to just do our shout outs. Yes, please like and subscribe the channel. It helps a lot. It helps so much. You guys have no idea how much it helps just doing that, hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button. It really does help a lot. Also go to Chelsea's channel. I think the link should be in the video description there as well. Like and subscribe there as well. It helps
Thanks,
Chelsea
Ben.
out a ton as well. And also we have our online community offsite offsite by learnit.com, if I'm not mistaken. We'll drop the link into
I
the
think so,
video
yeah.
description as well. We have a lot of great things there. That's also another place. If you have a burning question on Excel, PowerPoint, Word, what have you, you can drop your questions in there and they will be answered within 2 business days by our instructors. So it's a huge advantage. And then you also get
So
to join the
awesome.
Zoom rooms on our Friday events. If you guys have seen those Friday events, you can jump into the Zoom room and have your camera on there and talk directly to the instructors.
That's
And
tomorrow.
and then lastly, the giveaway, hashtag Excel Today. I'm just going to choose a random one again, and I will reach out to you via DM on there. So make sure you can receive DMs so we can choose a winner. All right. That's it.
Thanks,
Goodbye, everyone. Have a
everyone.
great day.
Yeah.